getting police-related calls.
How's everybody doing? Can everybody hear me okay? Fantastic. I'm going to get started in a little bit. I'm Officer Manning, Gary Manning. I've been on the force for 19 years. Let's see, been married for 23 years.
All right.
Fourth generation Chicagoan, so the city's close to my heart. My partner is off with Omar talking about something. We are joined by Detective Brian Humphrey from Area 3.
I'm a special victims detective. So that just basically means any senior abuse, anything's dealing with seniors, missing persons, cases you might have seen, and domestic violence. So the sergeant wanted me to come out. I live in the neighborhood actually, so I live in Rogers Park, but I'm very familiar with the north side. I actually used to work in 20. Just to take a look at what the officer here is presenting to you guys and bring it back to her, and then get a game plan together. We get a lot of calls. My mom's 83. So I always warn her about stuff like that. My dad passed about a year ago. He was 87. But these scams today are amazing. You pick up a phone and it'll say their name, your phone company, your gas company, your credit card company, and next thing you know, you're comfortable. But I always just say, if they are asking for information that they should already have, just say, you know what, let me get your number and I'll call you back. And that usually ends it. But I'm going to turn it over to this gentleman.
He just gave my whole presentation. So, questions?
I'm gonna take some pictures and forward them over for her boy. I'll be right over here.
I'll just give you a little bit of a family history because I got to know Al and son and Terry and everybody. Like I said, I'm fourth generation. My great-grandfather came from Ireland. He went to Southport and Diversey, bought himself 14 horses. My grandfather and all my great-uncles delivered the ice to the ice boxes back in the day, and the coal during the winter. After the refrigeration came, my grandfather opened a bar right there by Southport and Diversey.
All right.
He did that for many years till he retired. My grandma came straight from Ireland. My grandpa would always say, I met her when she had potatoes between her toes. They were married 50 plus years. They were very dear in my heart. So the whole scam business we'll get into, it hits home. I don't know if it ever hit home with you. My wife's aunt got scammed for $5,000. My mom got scammed for $500. It's an unbelievable business, but we'll get into some of the details of what they do, what to look out for. Any questions, maybe just save them to the end. We'll take maybe a little break, and then I'll tell you about some situational awareness to keep you guys safe, okay? So, Officer Manning, I work in the 20th District. It's called the Lincoln District because we're on Lincoln Avenue now. So this is about, I'd say, when they do inventories of how many people get scammed. So this is about 2 years old. So seniors lost almost $1 billion in scams last year. I'd say it's probably 2 or 3 by now. Most scams are financial fraud and internet fraud. What's going to happen? Something pops up on your phone. People 65 and older are often targeted by scammers. Only 1 in 44 of them report this because some people are actually embarrassed. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Just look out for one another and keep each other protected, okay? Utility scams. This is a big one. This is how they got my mom, okay? The scammer claimed to be your gas, water, electric company. Says your service will be cut off. Now this is on the phone, okay? Not in the mail or on the internet. Pay this or we're going to cut off your utilities. Real utilities do not do this, okay? Always remember that. Like the detective said, if they call you, write it down. That number, you probably won't be able to reach anybody. But what my mom does now is she has the exact phone number to People's Gas, to AT&T. That number is going to pop up whenever they're going to want to call her, and they don't. You just get the bill in the mail, and it's usually those big red letters that say notice. This is an example here. This is a gas company in Texas, okay? So you'll get a pop-up kind of like this. Your electric power. This is PNM. It could be gas company. Please get a hold of us here. Okay? Phone will come in, it might say People's Gas, it might say gas. They'll try to get you right with that. I'm going to give you a number. Don't punch any numbers. The key thing to all this, if they ask you to pay with a prepaid gift card, you know it's a scam. Okay? Never get a prepaid gift card because they can't deal with that. They can't do those bank transactions because then they're going to be flagged. Okay? What they'll do is ask you to get Target cards, etc., put them in the mail, and then you'll never be able to be traced again. So, the guy in the blue hair, he lost a bet. My son watches this guy, he goes by the name of Pierogi. His family was scammed. So, instead of going into the corporate world, he opened a station on YouTube. You'll see, I'll play it for you, okay? I just want to give you a little idea what he does. So he has a voice modulator. So when he calls back these people, most of them are in India, okay? He has a voice translator. Sometimes it makes him sound young, old, male, female. And what he does is while he keeps these scammers busy, he's got around 5 or 6 guys working behind him on the computer. They break into their system. They get all the names and numbers that are used to call people, and they delete all their files. It's gone as far as they have worked with the federal government. They have traced people back. They have planted cameras with, I think, Mark Rober. My son watches me. He's a famous YouTuber, too. And this is how they try to catch these people. Okay, so I'm going to play it for you. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and I'll stop. In the beginning of it, I had my son text me, so you'll see pop-ups. That's what will appear on your phone when somebody tries to get a hold of you for these fraudulent things, okay? His name's Pierogi. It's around 8 minutes. If it gets too long, we'll just stop. But he shows you what the process of what he does and goes on, okay?
Call their victims, and these scams work. I'm going to break it down. They call their email posing as Amazon.
Thank you for getting connected with Amazon Prime.
Can you hear it?
This is Max Cooper. How can I help you?
Yeah. I just did one. There's something about Amazon.
The idea is that you've been charged with a Prime.
Try that again.
Destroyed. I know their names, location, call their victims, and
There's the
delete
pop-up.
all their files. A lot of you don't know how these scams work. I'm going to break it down. They call their email posing as Amazon.
Thank you for getting connected with Amazon Prime Services. This is Max Cooper. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi Max. I just did one. There's something about Amazon.
The idea is that you've been charged with a Prime subscription, and you can either accept the charge or cancel.
Today is an auto-renewal day, and it will cost you around $39.99.
I think I'll cancel, please.
For the cancellation, they need to access your computer. How do they do this? By getting you to download remote access applications like AnyDesk, UltraViewer, or TeamViewer. Unfortunately for them, I control everything.
Just look at the lower left-hand side bottom corner. You can see a red color file is getting downloaded, right? Anydex.exe.
Yeah, it says anydex.exe.
Once they give me access to their system, I can find things like scam scripts, accounts, or even victim lists. Here, they had 2,000 folders containing about 7,000 files that we're about to gently remove from their system.
To the page little bit.
Just want to stop there. So, he has a system to kind of counterpart whatever he's doing there. Yeah? But don't let anybody, I hope it doesn't get this far. Your computer, they'll get your passwords. They'll get your bank statements. They'll get your social security number. So you never need to go this far. Walk away with this, like the detective said. If you don't, I'll call you back. Let me confirm with something. Okay?
Down.
And then what?
You need to just fill up the form.
All of this information? Or,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Okay.
So you need me to do this now?
In the form now?
Now
Yes.
he's going through all his
Yes, ma'am.
files and deleting them. So you can't call anybody.
So the scammer is muted. What you're seeing right now is their screen watching hours. One of the cool things too is if they're using a phone where you can hear audio through their desktop, we should be able to record that as well. So even if they mute us, If the audio is going through this computer, through the desktop, then we should be able to hear it later on down the road, which is kind of cool.
Just reconfirm the last 4 digits of your account number. That is 9118. Is
Yes,
that correct, Teresa?
that is correct.
Okay. All right.
So they just exited me out of AnyDesk. So he might be a little nervous right now. The scammer that we just destroyed, like his computer's off, his AnyDesk is off, like it's done. Also, with this information, we found that the manager of the floor's name is Asif. So we like to throw that name in while we're messing with his scammer buddy Max Cooper.
That was awesome.
That's my server.
Oh, okay.
So, did you see your ID, the 9-digit ID?
Yes, Asif. What is Asif saying about this? Anything?
No, I don't know. Sorry, what name you heard?
ASIF, Asif.
It's a strange name, never heard about that.
Okay.
Back to the scam. Cancellation form filled out. Now it's time for the refund. This is the main part of the scam.
So just that 44 0. No extra zeros, no dollar signs.
40, okay.
Wait, Teresa. I don't see 40 over there. By any chance, did you put some extra zeros?
When filling out the refund of $40, the scammers added zeros at the end right before submitting. This all depends on how much money is in your account. For example, if you had $5,000, the scammers would add 2 zeros to make it a $4,000 refund. If you had $50,000, they would add 3 zeros to make it a $40,000 refund. Now I owe $39,960 because of this mistake.
40,000 has been transferred into your checking account. Do you see it?
Wait, 40,000? I need to figure out what's going on here.
You transfer the money. So for that, I'll just give you the account information right away.
Okay.
So don't say anything to your bank that you are sending money or returning the money to Amazon. So get dressed. In the meanwhile, I am on the line because in case if you need any help, I can simply guide you over.
Okay, so you need me to do that right now, Asif?
Smaller amounts of money, the scammers will ask for gift cards, but in this case, they're going to have us do a wire transfer. So we're going to pretend like we're headed to the bank. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be going to get money, but I am going to let the scammer know that I know exactly where he is, down to the exact building.
How long have you been working at Amazon?
Me, it's been only 2 years now.
You kind of like work from home, essentially, or do you go to the office?
No, I work from the office. So
What building do you work out of? What's the name of your building? Like, the Genesis building, or the NIAS building, or the Matrix building, right?
what building name you said? Right now you said something about Genesis something.
Yeah, the Genesis, I had a brother that worked in a Genesis building.
Okay, so they work in Amazon you're talking about?
Hold on, I'm pulling in here. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Well, what I was saying was, you're not in the Genesis building, because I know they've been having some audio issues.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so I'm parked outside of my bank.
Do you know the name that you need to send the money? The details?
Yes.
Can you just pronounce the name or you can spell it out?
Why did you hang up? At this point, they don't care about money. They're spooked. I've been saying their manager's real name. I destroyed their files. And I started calling out their exact building, which is in Kolkata Sector 5.
Now subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hello, this is Pierogi. I just wanted you to know that Asif's files are gone. And I just wanted you to know that I know you're in the Godrej Genesis building in Kolkata, West Bengal, India. If you want, there are 2 options.
1, you cannot call me back, and we will continue to go after you and expose you and call your victims. Or 2, you can call me back, and you can help out a victim, and you can save your name. You have 2 options. Call me back, and happy Halloween. You're watching now, that's why you hung up. You can either call me back, or you can not call me back, and we'll continue to expose you. Because I have some numbers I need to call now from the files. Hi, ma'am. I just wanted to call you. Has Amazon reached out to you here recently?
Yes.
Okay, that's a scam.
I did not give them any information, those idiots.
Okay, good. Okay, so you didn't let them on your computer or anything either?
No, so they are asking to get on my computer, and I said, well, what is Amazon's number? And they're like, oh, hold on, let me look.
Right.
But
Okay.
I did not open anything. I did not type in a link for them because they're dumb.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure because I got your phone number from the scammer's computer today. I assume they called you today. So that's why I was just calling you proactively to make sure that you weren't getting scammed. So I'm glad you did not. It's a lady out of Gainesville, Florida. And she's 63. Hi, ma'am. I just wanted to call you because Amazon scammers have been contacting you, and I wanted to make sure you did not get scammed by them.
I have been, you are correct. I was contacted by them. They were asking about different products or different things that they say I ordered, and I knew I hadn't ordered it. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, it's been an issue. It has.
Okay, did they get on your computer and do anything?
No,
Okay, so you did not let them access your computer or phone or
I
anything like
didn't
that?
let them do anything. No, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Your phone number and your email address was on their computer, so that's why I have your information to call you because I saw that, and I just want to make sure you did not get scammed.
No, sir. As far as I know, I don't really trust stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was like, you have to tell me what I ordered. And he
Correct.
couldn't tell me what I ordered. And I was like, you're full of shit. And that's what I told him. And he kind of hung up on me after a few choice words. Okay, and if I do come across something, is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
a way I could contact you?
Yeah, for sure. Heck yeah. You can text me on this number or you can call me. Either way, I'm always here. Always here to help.
Well, you know what? I thank you so much for what you're doing. Somebody needs to get back at these little that do this stuff. So
I talked to the guys that you were talking to, and I removed all the files from one of their computers, like completely destroyed it. And then I knew where they were located, and I started telling them where they were, and they were not very happy with me. So,
I bet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Especially-
that is so cool.
Yeah, especially when I was talking like this. So like they thought that I was like Teresa, but really,
I was me. So, anyway,
Well, I would have to say you sound like a hot female when you talk like that, so that's really cool.
what a sweet lady. Very, very sweet. She didn't get hacked or scammed, so that's amazing. Okada continues to have raids shutting these call centers down, so kudos. Luckily, none of the people that we called had lost any money, which is amazing. Please remember when you're out there, be safe and don't get scammed.
I watch this guy with my son probably once or twice a week. Sometimes they go for 2 or 3 hours. That's how long he's on the phone with these people. But that gets instead of what they try to do, what it sounds like, right? Right. So like we just listened to, a phone scam. Anything pops up, like the IRS, get back to us. IRS will never call you for money, okay? Said before, will never ask for a gift card for payment or a wire transfer. 20th District, we had a scammer call a senior. He had it brought up that it was 911 on his phone like I showed you before, like it was the gas company, it popped up 911. There's a program they could use, my son knows it, I don't know what it is. The person that he had a warrant, $5,000, okay? Unfortunately, this person came into the, that he paid the $5,000, asking about his warrant. And there was no such thing. Okay? Just another thing. So if something doesn't seem right, trust your instincts. Charity scams, detective might know one. There's one that always calls my wife. It's a police charity. It sounds really legit, and it might be, but they only give about what? 1%? 2% to an actual policeman's.
I haven't heard from them. Surprised when they call because being on the police force, you know, we give the St. Jude's every year. Here for police memorial, for police families and stuff like that. I had maybe someone just said that, you know,
They call them out.
Yeah.
Because the 98%, what you give, they'll pocket. And they'll give that 2% to some, we don't know what charity. If it sounds like it's maybe a charity, it's probably not, so you can always do diligence. And if they use high pressure tactics, if they're screaming at you, once again, no cash, okay? Today is Medicare coming out with a new plan and new policies. So this tips off the scammers. They'll start calling you, saying that they might have a better plan for you. Once again, it's a scam. They're not going to call. You're going to have to go to Medicaid, 1-800-MEDICARE, call that number, and then they'll of sweetheart scams. Okay. I'll give you an example that I had to deal with. A woman kept calling me saying she was transferring money, but she refused to tell who was scamming. And then she said it was a sweetheart. We're going to get married in 2023. She goes, he's famous, but I can't tell you. I'm like, okay. You know, if you want to report. 5 times, and she said, I'm going to tell you who it is. It's Al Pacino. And I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am, it's not Al Pacino. She goes, but it is. I go, have you FaceTimed? Have you seen his face? Like, no, we've just talked on the phone. It's unfortunate, and sometimes she might feel a little embarrassed. But anybody who tries to hook up, I don't know if you have any kind of social media, sometimes they even pretend to be like maybe a child that might need money. Once again, unfortunately, it's a scam, okay? So we can do a little review here. An unsolicited call from an unknown person or phone number, hang up. Scammer asking for sensitive information. Talked about with the gas bill scam. Okay, like the detective said, some things we can do. We can verify the caller's story. Where are you from? What are you doing? Do not purchase gift cards, wire transfer money, any kind of payment. Or if you don't recognize the number, hang up. Another one I didn't know about, do not answer voice recordings. Sometimes they'll say, are you Al? And you say, and we'll say, what? Can you hear me? Say it louder. Yes, this is Al. Sometimes they'll use that as voice recognition. Number, but you pick it up just because you want to. Hey, is this Al? Take a 5-second break. Hang on, okay? I know, but when you're in the moment, when you're, trust me, things pop up on my phone for Chase Bank. Brought it in, and they had that website nailed down. It looked just like something on the internet. And they're like, no, that's not us. So just beware. If you're ever in doubt, take your time. Now, those are the numbers. I gave some of you my card. We have the beat meeting information in the back, so if you guys have any questions about anything, always give us a call. All right. If you guys want to take a little stretch, I can just go over some safety tips, and we can call it a day. Well, if you want me to keep going, I can keep going. 911, 311? Because that's a lot of questions we get too. What's a 911 call? What's a 311 call? Go over the top, what's a 911 call? And you can just assume everything else is a 311 call. Fire emergencies, that's 911. A crime in progress. You see something, 911. Bodily harm, 911. You're seeing somebody destroying something, vandalizing a window, smashing a window, 911. And all the rest, graffiti removal, you see a tree in the streets, it's all 311. Okay. Now on this one, I don't have a slideshow, so you're just going to have to stare at me for a little bit. I'll go over a couple things. Brian, you want to interject anything? Detective, please do.
No, I just, I came over last minute, but I just wanted to share with you guys, because sometimes when you get a little older, you second guess yourself. I know a lot of people, my mom, my dad included, get a little Alzheimer's and dementia, but these scams can get really serious. When I was in 23, there was Joe Cox was the senior officer in the Addison Halsted, and unfortunately a lady, she came over here from Eastern European, her husband, they did very well, they had buildings and property. He passed away, she didn't have anyone. Someone called her and scammed her out of a large amount of money. I think it was to the tune of something like $300,000. This was over 10 years ago. And you said to yourself, how did that happen? Well, they were very professional. Well, the sad part about it is, and we ended up tracing them back to China and Nigeria, some officers came, helped her on this, says, well, we got this line set up, we're gonna have you send somebody over here, we're gonna trace it. They were part of the fraud. And it took another $300,000. So you just have to be very skeptical these days, because, you know, I'm 56. I know one day, hopefully, I'll be in your seats and, you know, relaxed, retired. And these things can affect everybody. So, and the only personal story I can share with you is that my grandmother, she was with us about 96. She had her property taken in a quitclaim deed. And the reason why I'm saying this is that one of the young ladies in the neighborhood who come by and see her and stuff like that actually got her to sign some papers. But the interesting part about it is they were trying to get the information in the neighborhood, the bank. Her last name is very uncommon but common. It was House. And when the ladies were looking at it, it's like, this house hasn't passed away. What do we have this? They're trying to get, you know, claims. And then we got that, and I got the police involved and found out that she had got a quitclaim, got the deed, got ownership of the property. Because my grandmother didn't know she was signing, and was trying to sell the property to, of all things, by a doggy daycare and clothing place. But by the time we tracked her down, we heard that she had moved at the middle of the night at 3 o'clock. So we had to go. That's when I learned about guardianship. That's when I learned about wills, trusts, estates. That's when I learned about having things. So if you have family members and friends and stuff like that, get those things in place. The wills, the estate plannings, the trust, powers of attorney, besides, you know, who's going to take care of our health, who's going to take care of our finances, because if you sign a wrong document, you just never know what will happen. But I mean, she actually literally was ownership of the place, so we actually had to go and get it back. So, but don't be embarrassed, because you can fool. I call my mom. I see her every week. Hey, someone, she has a caretaker. Someone calling you. The call ID, it may say this, but you know, question everything. That's what I'm saying.
No, true.
Question everything, you know, and then, you know, try to have that person in your family who's social media aware, or who's the grandson and nephew aware, to take a second look at some things, because today they can pretend to be anybody. So, but I'm gonna let this gentleman finish his and take a few more notes, and I'm taking all this home to my mom too. So,
Thanks again. So I did a little Zoom meeting about situation. And I think when we talk about situational awareness on the phone or walking down the street, I think it works on the same kind of levels. It goes in different colors, so let's just do this really quickly. So there's a level called the white zone. That means you're kind of like not paying too much attention to what's going around you. You might probably see your grandchildren just walking down the street with that cell phone. You know, all the buildings are caving in, nobody's paying attention. My kids lose that for a month if I see them walking down the street with their cell phone out. Called the yellow zone, okay? We're still enjoying, we might have our phone out, but we're paying attention. You know, you might have that guy on speaker, you're looking around, wait, there's about 5 or 6 people over there, I'm gonna cross over here, I'll still be on the cell phone, if anything happens, I can tell Pete on the phone, and I'm gonna be okay. All right? Orange zone, that means we're kind of focused on something, something's not right. You know, you might go by a restaurant, you're looking in the building, and everybody's like this, against the wall. And you're like, oh, that's kind of weird, I've never seen that before. And you just keep walking. Because you get so focused. You know, you might have the phone out, I want to go over here and get some coffee. You know, it doesn't look right. Okay? Something, you might hear gunshots. Whatever's going on has your full attention. Okay? That's when you have to act. Thing on active shooter. So if somebody hears gunshots, the first thing you want to do is cover, right? Now we have a thing called tunnel vision, or it's like the black zone. Sometimes you reach and focus on one thing, everything else is just, you can't. Sometimes you focus on the offender, one guy, and three could be coming over here. You're gonna. Once you painted as, I'm sorry, it's situational awareness, you know your surroundings, the better. That goes if we're going on the bus. Ladies, you know, purses are strapped tight to our chest. Okay, gentlemen, make sure our wallets are maybe in our front pockets. When she goes out, to always give me a call. Let her, she lets me know where she's going. Hey, I'm going to Target. She'll be back in an hour. I'm here from her in about 2 hours. I know the last place she was Target. You know, if you tell people, hey, I'm going to go to the corner and get some coffee, I should be back in an hour. Hey, where's Al? He's not back. Well, he was going to the coffee. So they can tell the police, hey, Al went to the coffee shop. He was supposed to be back 2 hours ago. At least it's a point where we... Okay, does that make sense? Okay. I mean, it might seem pretty simple, but if you're walking well-lit areas, do you guys use ATMs? Perfect. You don't have to worry about shenanigans there. I think that's about all I have, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience with me, and I'm going to leave you with this, okay? This is for my daughter's favorite band, okay? Parents or someone of age, pay some respects to the past that they made, to life they were dedicated. I thank you. I hope to see you again. Very good. Thank you, Detective, for helping.
No worries. Thank you. So you want to take questions?
I'm gonna beat the snow. But basically, so you know, you always do all your reporting through 911, and the officers will take the calls. And if it's a senior-related call, these guys will get it. And then once the investigation starts, that's when it comes to our office. So I always like to say these guys are experts because we can't do anything until they get everything that they need, and then we just kind of go fill in the blank from there. But safe, have a good New Year's week, and we live in different times, so we just have to make sure that we are aware of our surroundings and everything, right? It was great. Like I said, I always like to help, because I get good knowledge too.
Thank you for the input.
Give you one too.
Okay, was there any questions?
I'm gonna send this to Bella.
What's fly dumping? Fly dumping.
That's when you might see people who are doing construction, and they'll take the garbage from the construction site and just throw it on the expressway. That's fly dumping. Yes, ma'am. Well, if you don't have a, what are they trying to get you to do? Like come downstairs, you have to pay a certain amount of money? Understand my question? If they say you have a package, do they want you to pay for it?
They tell you on your phone that your package is on the way, but you haven't ordered it.
Then scam, just hang up.
I get it too from Amazon.
Yeah, they say that, they'll say that your package is like you're saying, is tied up in the mail, contact us. They just want a way to get you on the phone to start this process. They might want you to get on your computer, start typing stuff in, then they get in your computer. So you know, if you didn't order anything, don't, you know what, and even if you question if you did, go to your order history. And you can say, oh, I didn't order that. That's a good question, that makes sense. Because I got that too, I'm like, well, I didn't order anything. And I get my son, did you order anything? He goes, no. So that's a good point, it's a good question. Never open those links, no.
I'm not a singer. I get like Mom told my mom to go to Walmart or she was gonna go to jail.
You got an information
Called me
card?
right away and I said, don't answer this.
Driving information?
You got an information card?
A business card?
Yeah. When you gonna have the beat meeting?
Schedule out. Did you grab a schedule?
Got one back there on the desk.
Yeah. You're in,
Three to the area.
yeah, you're in 23's beat. So it would be at, Anderson Center, I think the,
Oh, yeah.
22 and 23 are combined.
Where would that be?
It's at, Kenmore and the senior building over there.
Is it on here? Okay.
Be at the Plaza.
Okay, so any